Bitcoin is hands down better than gold, and XRP is hands down better than Bitcoin. What we are witnessing right now, the restructuring of our entire monetary system, is the debasement of the dollar, of fiat currency. This process is accelerating. As such, all eyes are on risk off assets. That's why gold has been rallying continuously day after day. Yes, currently down 3.66%, but gold is nearing all-time highs and looks like it's going to continue rallying from this point forwards. Crypto, while still in its infancy and therefore still very volatile, crypto is starting to follow this gold standard. It's starting to be perceived as a safe haven, as protection from this fiat debasement. And this is why we are only at the tip of the iceberg and why we are going to go so much higher from here. I'm talking a lot about gold because this is something that Cathie recently spoke about here in this interview on Bloomberg. She stated word for word that gold is not that good, or more so that Bitcoin is hands down better than gold. So if Wall Street all adopt this similar mentality, then it's only a matter of time until crypto, Bitcoin, and again in particular XRP catches back up to gold, explodes in value, and then some going further and beyond. Take a listen.
Bitcoin, hands down. Hands down. Bitcoin is a hedge against both inflation and deflation. Yes, so is gold, but Bitcoin is digital. And if you look at the incremental demand, we're going to see, but gold already has its demand, it's happened, right? Bitcoin is new and institutions are barely involved. And young people would much prefer to hold Bitcoin than to hold gold.
So as you heard in the words of Cathie Wood, gold is a hedge against both inflation and deflation, and Bitcoin is better. It's digital gold. It's more accessible and therefore it's better for everybody. And also the younger generation who's taking over this new monetary system, they're the ones who prefer Bitcoin to gold. Bitcoin is early. It's only been a couple of years since ETFs have come out. Governments and institutions still have barely any Bitcoin, which is further proof of how early we are, but also where we are heading into this new digital era. Even PayPal's former president, David Marcus, stated live on CNBC that everybody should sell their gold and instead buy Bitcoin. Again, listen closely.
David Marcus, he previously led crypto and payments at Meta, is the former president of PayPal. He's now CEO of Lightspark, a company he launched in 2022 that's building payment infrastructure on the Bitcoin blockchain. Good morning to you. It's been a while, but it's nice to see you, David.
Good morning.
Let's try to, we're sort of seeing this revolution, at least inside of Washington, it appears, around how Congress and how this administration is going to think about crypto and specifically Bitcoin, and how you think that the things might manifest. If you could just sort of walk us through the permutations in your mind from a regulatory perspective, not just on the regulation, but also on the strategic reserve and things like that, how this changes things.
Well, it's a brand new day for crypto in America, frankly. And speaking as someone who tried to launch a project and worked really hard to get it off the ground here at home and having it shut down by the US government, to having conversations about regulatory clarity of Bitcoin strategic reserve, and really doing whatever it takes, frankly, for America to lead in this revolution that will completely rewire our whole financial system, is quite a polarity flip of atmosphere and energy for our entire industry. So, I'm very, very happy and excited for what's coming. I think we're very close to the precipice when it comes to falling behind here. And so it's really amazing to see.
What does the strategic reserve do in your mind?
Well, look,
besides push up the price of Bitcoin.
Well, I think, first of all, if you look at the strategic reserves that the U.S. government holds in gold, we're the number one holder of gold in the world. And arguably, if you think of Bitcoin as a better version of gold, digital gold, why not allocate a portion of that reserve or rebalance a portion of that reserve to the better version? And, I think, there's just a lot more opportunity for growth and appreciation of Bitcoin than gold in the next couple of decades. So I think it's a wise decision, potentially.
It's worth a note that they are the number one holders of gold. So the fact that PayPal or David Marcus here are the ones who are taking this approach to redistribute their gold portfolio to hold more Bitcoin, more crypto, is equally very important and tells us again exactly what smart money have planned for digital assets. They see it as the future. And of course, right now, all the talk is on Bitcoin because again, we're early. But Bitcoin, aside from being this digital gold and a store of value, is being proven from Wall Street it has no intrinsic value. Wall Street are aware of this, which means eventually Bitcoin's days will be coming to an end. Bitcoin's days are numbered. They're looking for real utility tokens. Wall Street want to utilize the superpowers of crypto and get the most out of this asset class. And that's where XRP steps in. XRP will eventually overtake Bitcoin. Earlier this month, Citi published their earnings, and in their report, they confirmed plans to roll out new blockchain services and to also have a Citi-backed stablecoin, which is very big news. More Wall Street confirmation of where we are going. Difference is, though, they're talking about doing it not on Bitcoin, they're talking about doing it with Ripple and XRP. Proof here, as Ripple and Citi have been partners for a very, very long time. So Citi will be building their blockchain with Ripple and XRP connected to the Ripple net and the XRP ledger, and making XRP therefore become this new world reserve currency. XRP is currently valued at $2.41, down roughly 3.14% on the daily time frame, and this correction is due to the monetary political developments in Japan right now. They're trying to hike their rates, selling crypto and risk-on assets down, but this is just the calm before the storm. Cathie Woods knows this as well, hence why her company, ARK Invest, 21 shares, are also ones who have filed for XRP ETFs. Once the shutdown ends, the filings for XRP will be approved by the SEC, and XRP floodgates will open. A tsunami will quickly wash over this space. Remember as well, for a little boost, that Ripple are still waiting for the OCC to approve their banking charter license request. The OCC recently approved Arribor, a PayPal-backed crypto bank. So evidently crypto is getting more adoption, more regulatory approval, and this development also resulted in Sony jumping into the fray, which is very bullish news. So Ripple and XRP are next in line for a banking charter license from the OCC. You're going to see ETF filings coming up very, very soon. And XRP, with its intrinsic value, will end up overtaking Bitcoin, as XRP is the current leading asset to become the liquidity bridge for governments and institutions all over the world, not just the digital gold, to be the digital asset. To find out more, stay more locked in, come check out the VIP group, wop.com/coinfactory, other documentation, educational sources, and so much more. Check all out 7-day free trial as well. Links down below in the description. And remember, as always, don't look short term, think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.